Welcome back. When we last left off, it was me talking about issue 4 of Fantastic Four Dark Reign. There's so many things going on in this verse that it's hard to know where exactly it's going to go, or if everything will end up being okay, because it is part of the Dark Reign series. Now, staying with the Fantastic Rod, we're going to go with Spider-Man issue 590, Fantastic Four together again for the first time. Now, this comic, it has Spider-Man in a mask, and him and the Fantastic Four are going to a new reality, a new world, and essentially a different zone where there are plants all around them. Now, Peter Parker's geeking out in this, but he's wearing his mask. Johnny brings that up. Why is he wearing his mask? We know that essentially they can't remember who Spider-Man was. I think much of this is attributed to what happened in One More Day. When One More Day ended, essentially he never unmasked. So the Fantastic Four doesn't remember him. Well, they do, but they don't. And Peter keeps telling Johnny just to let it go, let it go. Well, all that has happened. And, while all this is going on in the verse, they're finding there are people that are in need of help. And Ben and Johnny and Pete all say, and Spidey all say, let's go help. And Reed is saying, no, we should observe, not get involved. And while we see this, there are huge statues of Ben, Reed, Spider-Man, and Johnny unmasked. Spider-Man's unmasked, and Johnny points out, why isn't he wearing his mask? We've been here before, and Spider-Man's not wearing his mask. So Spider-Man looks at them and takes off his mask, and that's where the cliffhanger ends. It's completely mind-boggling what's going on in the Spider-Man verse ever since One More Day happened. So, for Fantastic Four fans who are used to seeing the normal team-ups, this is not a normal team-up that we're used to. Instead, it brings a completely different twist, and we wonder if they're going to remember or how that's going to tie in. But Fantastic Four and Spider-Man fans, this is a great issue to get. Now, we're going to stay with the Marvelverse and go with issue 3, Secret Warriors, Nick Fury, Agent of Nothing. Now, in this verse, in this comic, we found out that essentially S.H.I.E.L.D. has worked for Hydra, and Nick Fury's worked for the bad guys all along. So Nick Fury has gathered some of his agents together to really fight the bad guys, because he feels betrayed. Now, he's going through all this and trying to keep his agents under control, because his agents are like, how do you know that the bad guy that you thought you worked for, that you do work for, isn't a good guy in disguise? And completely a mind boggle. If you don't follow this closely, you will be confused. Now, while this is going on, there's also Nick Fury's old slave, Cassandra. Now, she essentially was saying they have this dinner and they both pull guns on each other. And she's like, why you asked me to be here, so why are you going to pull a gun on me? And, Nick Fury's a little heartbroken and all this stuff. And essentially, she lets him know, I'll always be here for you. You're trying to figure out what's going on. You're trying to get this together, and you need to figure things out. But I will always be waiting for you, which it totally tugs at the heartstrings, because it shows that Nick Fury does care about someone else, that he does have feelings, and he does have feelings for her. But he's trying to get all of this under control. He feels like he lost control after finding out about S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra. And Hydra are the bad guys. I don't blame him. I would be right there with him about how angry and peeved he felt. So, this one, Secret Warriors, Nick Fury, Agent of Nothing, issue 3, go back and get 1 and 2, and then get 3, but it's highly worth it to get into. If you're a Nick Fury fan, if you're a S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, I know there are not that many S.H.I.E.L.D. fans out there, but I'd recommend it for anyone to get a hold of this piece of work. Now, we're going to stay in the Marvelverse and go into Black Panther issue 3. Now, for those of you not familiar with what's going on in the Black Panther's world of Wakanda, he and his Queen Storm he's married to Storm, and in the first issue he was attacked. Essentially, he is in critical condition. His warrior concubine chicks that hangs out with him, all of them died. He's, right now there is no Panther watching over Wakanda. Now, the first two issues where people were wondering, is it going to be Storm, or is it going to be the Black Panther sister? The end of issue 2, it was answered that it's going to be his sister. Storm has another journey to take. She has to go into, essentially, a dream realm to try to bring T'Challa back, to talk to him into coming back, reminding him he is the king of Wakanda, that Wakanda needs him, she needs him. But for everything there is a sacrifice. What Storm's sacrificing, we're not entirely sure yet. But Storm is trying to bring back her husband, who is being talked to by one of his servants, and his servant is telling him that his time is over, he's dead too, it's time for him to pass on. This isn't the case at all, and T'Challa sees through this, or we hope he sees through it, as Storm's getting there. Now, his sister is on her own mission, trying to prove to the Panther God she is worthy to be the Black Panther while this is going on. She climbs the mountain and she's saying, oh, it's a piece of cake, and she almost slips. Well, she gets to the top of the mountain and she sees this valley that she has to go through. And because there is a route that she has to get to prove herself worthy. Now, the route is in the center of a bunch of sleeping panthers. So she has to get through these panthers without waking them. It's a heck of a trial, and whether she beats it or not, we're not entirely sure. We know she gets the route, but we also know that she wakes them up. Does she get out alive? We have to stay tuned to Black Panther issue 4. But for you Black Panther fans, I recommend you pick it up. Even though it doesn't have a lot to do with T'Challa, it has to do with the fate of Wakanda. If you're a Black Panther fan, you care about Wakanda. Also, for you female fans who love female heroines, this is a comic book for you to pick up. When we get back, we'll be talking about some Dark Horse and IDW comics and be wrapping up the show possibly.